Be careful. You're gonna get that cat scratch fever. You're gonna see a phantom menace and something more involving turning humans into zombies because it's a monster bash, yo. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rider Time Archive here on the Morphin Network. I'm here. Mike. Steve is hiding in a cave. Oh, I guess he's back.
No, I was trying to avoid cats.
Yeah, no, cats are jerks. Oh wait, oh shoot.
Cats are.
Oh man, I just jumped the gun a little bit.
What did you
Those
do?
the cats are crazy, man. The cats are really crazy.
You know, if you get those conspiracy theories about how cats are trying to like dominate the world one sofa at a time, I'm like,
well, it actually happened in Futurama.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
it did. It did. It totally did.
Yes, and yes, we are here to discuss Kamen Rider X, episodes 16 through 21. And if you're wondering why we're doing 6 episodes this week, it's because we're finishing an arc.
Strange one, but an arc nonetheless.
Yes. Yeah, it's still an arc, but hey, we're done with Ultraman arc, so, makes sense. And earlier today, I saw an Lark und Ciel because it finally started raining here in California.
I don't know who danced their way to get that rain going, but it finally did.
I like to imagine some heavy metal bands came together and started playing those angelic electrical noises that make frog vampires cringe.
Just start playing Death Clocks Awaken.
Yeah, and that's all we needed. Turns out the greatest cure to the California fires was heavy metal. But man, let me tell you something about these past 3 weeks.
Yeah. But you know what? Honestly, I will be very honest when it comes down to people trashing metal music or whatever. I'm like, if you think about it, is it not possibly the most religious music that is out there?
Yeah.
I mean, how many times do they reference like kicking the devil in the face or like referencing something about like the Bible? And just like,
there was even like this one there was like this one emo band where like someone threw a trans flag on the stage, and then like the singer was like talking about like how his abusive dad is going to hell. It's like something like you say that sinners go to hell, but you'll be first in line, or something like that.
Yeah. Also, it's like someone came up as like, I blew some metalhead's like some punk kid's head recently, and I told him, "Did you know the band The Killers is actually like a Christian rock band?"
They are. I mean, have you ever heard the song? Have you ever heard the song when you were young? He doesn't look a thing like Jesus, but more than you'll ever know.
Look at their discography and tell me. And it is like, but they got such a cool ass shirt though. Like, yeah,
and
marketing, and every minute you get, okay, you rag on, and I'm like, I don't mind talking about it. I don't. As an elder goth, I'm going to tell you guys, you know what? I've walked in the shadows and I've walked in the light, and I don't like either or because one blinds you. Well, both blind you either or. But when you walk in the middle and you kind of like, you know what? You start seeing things a little bit more clearly, and you start like realizing, maybe.
Yeah, and also in the song, if somebody told me, has the pre-chorus, because heaven ain't close in a place like this. I said heaven ain't close in a place like this. Bring it back down tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I swear the Killers would be perfect for like doing the entire soundtrack of Gossip Girl, which I'm already on the second season of, by the way.
You're on a bender on right now, apparently.
Yeah, no, it's like TLDR, someone suggested I watch Gossip Girl, and I knew that sooner or later I'm gonna have to watch Gossip Girl because, like, I gotta watch all of these trendy shows on the CW and ABC and CBS. Like I've watched The Rookie all the way through season 6. I've watched the first season of Scorpion. Turns out, the real life Walter O'Brien isn't as cool as the one on TV, but then again, it's TV. What do you expect? But then it's like I was suggested to like watch Gossip Girl. I'm like, well, may as well do it now. I'm gonna do it eventually, so I may as well do it now. And let me just say, given the fact that Kristen Bell did not show up at all throughout the course of season 1, I'm guessing that she is just a voiceover and the real Gossip Girl is one of the actual main characters. And my prime suspect is Dan. I think Dan is Gossip Girl. If I had to pick a second choice, it would be Chuck. I know it sounds crazy, but hear me out. But then, but the point is, no one said Gossip Girl has to be an actual girl. Like, the dude could be doing a voiceover, or they could be hiring Kristen Bell to do the narration for them.
We'd have to start a podcast about that because, well, I wouldn't know. I never saw Gossip Girls.
Yeah, but I would say this though. I've never thought I'd see Michelle Trachtenberg play such a psychopath.
Did you not see Buffy?
Was she in Buffy?
I believe so. Yeah.
I feel like every episode of Buffy I've seen did not have Michelle Trachtenberg in it.
I believe she was in Buffy, I think.
I know Seth Green was in Buffy.
He was in it. What's her face? Band Geek Girl, from How I Met Your Mom. That was, but I could have sworn that Michelle Trachtenberg was in Buffy.
What I do know is that she was an ice princess with Dr. Kurt Connors from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of doctors who perform surgeries on people who lost an arm, let's talk about episode 16 of Kamen Rider X.
We left off on a cliffhanger, the Kamen Rider fighting Kronos. And
yes,
you would think, okay, decisive battle. This might go on for a while. No,
he murks him almost instantly.
But he murks him, but he also murks him in the fact that it was a double whammy hit because he may have got him with the kick, but he got him with his scythe.
Yeah, so his arm is injured.
Yeah, and so I'm like, again, how does a kick like rip off your head, but a scythe to the shoulder does not? That
I mean, have you watched Kamen Rider Gov? Like, freaking Blam.
This shit, questioning it. Like, this is Tokusatsu in the 70s. Yeah. Again, I love this era because it makes no damn sense. But at the same time, it's like, did he just kick someone and then just a bunch of foam and bubbles come shooting out, and then he just disappeared or died? Did he hit that guy on the head and he's like, and then he falls over and explodes? Yeah. How did it? Shush.
Enjoy the ride, lady. Enjoy the ride. XOXO.
I'm just like, you know what? Let's just enjoy it. And a fair warning to our audience today. I'm gonna go hard in these episodes. So if you are part of a fandom or community I mean no ill will. As I've said, I rag on everyone equally, but it comes from a place of love. And these episodes really made it easy for me to go in hard, and as we'll get there. But yeah, they're not doing them any favors. Not at all. But yes.
Yeah, it's like for the most part, we're just waiting for episode 21.
Yeah. But so yes, we find out because we had again a two-parter. Who is the White Ranger underneath the sheet? Who is it?
Who's the White Ranger? Who's the White Ranger?
It's Apollo Grant. Didn't you blow
what?
up?
It was Apollo? Here I thought it was Neptune.
I know. No, you couldn't. You could have been like, we upgraded Apollo Grant to Apollo Hades. No. And just like the Green Ranger going into the White Ranger, what is the difference? We just gave him a stripe on his helmet.
Yeah, just like the actual Green Ranger.
Yeah. What's the upgrade? We just gave him a stripe on the helmet. That's it. Compared to the original, to the American, because that's what a lot of people call it, is the American Green Ranger. Yeah. We just gave him a stripe and apparently some wackadoodle syringe arm, I guess.
Yeah, which has like anti-tank gun attached to it.
I'm sorry, but again, it's kind of like when they operated on Gene Kisuke when they were like, the commander.
Yeah, let's hook him up with a toothbrush, a magnifying glass, a toothpaste dispenser.
They pulled out an electric bread carver, an electric bread knife. Don't tell me that was a surgical saw. I've seen hacksaws that got more bite than that thing. But it's like, why are you cutting him open? He's got a slot. It's like those little push things that like open up for storage. He's got that. Why do you need to cut him open? You didn't cut off his arm. It's
like he's already a cyborg. Why are you making him more of a cyborg?
We must add an A-track player.
Yeah. Oh, what's it called? That line from Dragon Ball Z Abridged. Now inject with this man with some science, sweet, delicious science.
I could not believe what I was literally seeing. I literally could not, because I'm like, they have his arm up and they put his shield, which they just painted it. They added some cool stripes to his shield. All right.
Yeah, it's like what's it called? It's like how in Power Rangers you had like a tube monster, and then you replace it with a lifeguard buoy monster.
Or the whole metallic armor nonsense.
Oh, that was even worse.
That was. I don't give a damn who the hell you are. You're telling me that's the upgrade you guys got? Wow.
Actually, what I do find interesting is how that Blizzard monster from Storybook Rangers is actually a repaint of that imposter monster from Jew 2 footage where they had that mirror.
Yeah.
And what's it called? And they added other stuff to it to make it distinguishable. I respect when they add stuff to it instead of just straight up repainting it, but yeah.
I mean, but the thing is that Gene Kisuke gets hurt, and then he says, again, let's go into the air ducts. That's just how it is. Let's go into the air ducts. And he's bleeding all over the place. He's like, you got the CalArt minions running around like, where is he? Where is he? And again,
he's in the air ducts.
It didn't go anywhere. Did not go anywhere. One of the grunts is like, boss, you're bleeding. And he's like, what? No, I'm not. It's just like, oh, it's like, nothing happened. He just casually, nonchalantly walked off again. And then he finds where they're actually building Apollo again, which I'm like, who's under that sheet? Really? You know, Gene, I know that the Kamen Rider is not normally the most sharpest knife in the drawer, but
which is odd considering the fact that Takashi Hongo has an IQ above 160.
I mean, yeah, if you're Takashi Hongo, if you're Sento, I guess also
Kendo Soji.
Kendo Soji, well, I'll even throw in Shin.
Yeah.
He kind of was on the up and up of what was going on.
Yeah.
You know, but I was like, because there's some times that I swear it's like, you know, in these episodes, in the past episodes, you know, he's talking to Tachibana or talking to whomever, and he's like, "You think God is behind this?" No. What show are you watching? Oh man. But yeah,
well, at least also in this batch of episodes, we finally understand why. Like, if you've watched Decade before watching Kamen Rider X, now you kind of understand why Apollo Geist had that thing on him, and then he just puts it on his mouth and calls it a day.
Yeah.
When we review Decade, like, we're gonna go off on that.
We're going off on this right now. Yeah. But yeah, so Kronos gets beaten first off, and then Apollo Geist shows up again, and shocker, Kisuke is like, "You're alive." I'm like, "Yeah,
of
course I am."
Well, like, how could you not tell?
Really?
Yeah.
And of course, he's got some pretty cool. He's got the gun arm, I guess. You know,
it's like I got 3 barrels of empty tank ammunition. Watch what happens when I shoot them, and he completely misses.
You shot 2 rounds and you missed. Well, it's a new add-on, so I can't really give him so much shit about it. Although I'm like, you know what? You look pretty cool with that pinstripe on your helmet, dude. It actually kind of makes you look more badass than what you did originally. Oh, and he's also got a new cape. He's got flames on his cape.
Flames on it, yeah. You know, why just get a Hokage cape when you could get Minato's cape?
Oh my god! I was like, you know, he's a badass because he's got flames on his cape now, Mike.
Yeah,
he didn't have that before.
See, the reason why. Okay, one time for stand-up, I did wear Naruto's Sage Mode cloak. That's because I was using it for a bit. I was using it as a prop. I wasn't trying to look badass. I wore it with purpose. You're just being silly now.
You're just being stupid like you will be in episode 21. I'm like, you know, Clint Eastwood called. But, yeah. But apparently the two fight and that's it. Like, really?
Yeah.
But,
Tobei, Mako, and Chico get kidnapped again. Well, not kidnapped, but just held hostage at Tobei's coffee house because Chico and Mako recognized the black statue. But this time it really was sent to them.
That was what I was going to bring up. We have these 2 recurring girls now because I'm guessing they heard me and they're like, yeah, no, it was a total sausage fest for a while. After Keiko and Ryoko died, I'm like,
What I don't understand is, like, when did they start working at the coffee shop? Because like they were just because like Chico and Mako were just introduced literally in episode 15, like literally the last episode, because they accidentally got the statue from Kronos.
Apparently, like, now they're part of the Kamen Rider club, I guess. They're just there. They're just there.
Yeah, now. They're the Rider Kid Corps. You know, they got those little caps with the Kamen Rider face on them.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, a couple years later down the line, what they would inevitably do for Battle Fever J. You know, having like a group of people, like, just randomly. but they're actually young adults, not children. Where Battle Fever J took 5 or 6 kids, and it's like this is the core cast. I'm like, oh god, no.
No. You know what's interesting is that the whole Kamen Rider, the Kamen Rider Kids core is a trope that didn't just start off in the original Kamen Rider, but it would stay all the way through Super 1. I'm surprised they didn't include it in Kamen Rider Black or RX. And thank God they did not include that in. Although technically, you could say the Kamen Rider Club from Forza is a teenage version of the Kamen Rider Kids Core. Especially in the winter film where like they wear cardboard boxes of the Magnificent Seven.
Yeah, and even so, like all the kids from Forza are technically in some ways named or referenced of names of past Kamen Riders.
Oh yeah, my favorite in particular was Nozama because her name spelled backwards is Amazon.
Yeah, so Nozama was
best girl. She was the best girl.
Not the goth one.
She is the goth one.
Is that the goth one?
Yeah, that is the goth one.
Okay, it's been so long since I've seen Forza. I totally forget.
I'm sorry, but when you join a cult in real life, you kind of lose your best girl status.
You know what? Honestly, you know what? She's best girl because she purposely eats Naoto for lunch. So I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, but no, it's like, it's like, and here's the thing, yeah, cults are bad in general, but what's particularly disgusting about this one is they literally tried to sell their members a cure to COVID in April of 2020 for $400 USD.
Which
let me remind you, April of 2020, when the pandemic just started.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, the publicly distributed vaccine wasn't distributed until January of 2021. It took us 15 months to make the vaccine, but they claim to have a cure only 5 months in. And in order to get it, you have to pay $500. Like $400. It's like red flag, red flag, red flag. Your flag is red.
I will say, what? I lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
God damn it. Okay.
But yeah, you know, Kamen Rider kids.
Yeah.
Because of Chico and Mako.
Yeah, because Chico and Mako. And I'm just like, okay, so we got two cute college girls now. Okay. What are they going to do? They're pretty much like the Scooby and Shaggy, where they just kind of, or it's kind of like Penny and Brain, where it's like they just kind of, for some reason, tag along and then get into trouble
but don't contribute anything to the plot.
Yeah, I'm like, should I hate them? Well, logic says I should, but since we lost,
it's not like they're doing anything wrong.
No,
it's not.
We lost Kyoko and Ryoko. I'm just like, yeah, we need something. I know the legend, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Tachibana.
See, at least Tachibana actually fights grunts.
Yeah, he can actually. He, like I said, he's there with Pierre Alfonso as such a badass.
It's like imagine if Ernie from the juice bar was right there on the playground fighting putties right with Curtis and Richie. And yes, I'm not letting go of the fact that Curtis and Richie deserve more respect.
No, they should. But again, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's also just to be like, yeah, Tachibana can't save Kisuke. Kisuke has to save himself, and Tachibana has to protect somebody. So it's like, yeah, give him these 2 girls, I guess. But yeah, again, Apollo just they fight and then they just stop and then the episode ends. It's just like, well, Apollo's back. We kind of saw that, kind of knew that. So next episode, I guess.
Yeah, they do fight Cerberus.
Oh yeah,
not
that's
much
right.
happens.
You know how memorable Cerberus is. That he's just like that's like I totally don't even mention.
Let me put it to you like this: he's about as memorable as Prometheus.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like okay, Cerberus. I mean,
Actually, it's about the same because think about it. Both Cronus and Achilles both have like a 2-part episode. They both die like towards the beginning of the part 2, and then the rest of the screen time goes to this other monster, Cerberus and Prometheus, who does not have quite as memorable of a fight. Oh, but Cerberus has electrical power, so all Kisuke has to do is throw him into a river.
Water. Because as we all know, because of if you play Pokemon, water and electricity just does not mix. So it's not that Gene Kisuke beat him. It's more like the force of gravity is what did it.
Yeah, he just pole vaulted him into the water, and he
didn't really
discharged like a toaster.
Didn't do a kick or anything. He just kind of nudged him in, and he fell in, and just like
Like he took his took his Rydal like in its bow staff form, and again, I haven't seen him use the bow staff form yet, and he just like props him up like a crowbar and just woo.
Yeah, no, I was like, really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But again, put a pin in Cerberus because we're gonna see him technically in a bit, but
not bit enough.
But Cerberus, you're supposed to have 3 heads, not 2.
Yeah, that part was weird.
You couldn't have put a poodle's head on the other shoulder.
See, props to One Piece. Like when they ran out of wolf heads, they at least tried to fit the 3rd one with a hyena.
Yeah, but I'm like, no, not even a cocker spaniel. No.
Okay. Yeah, it's like props to what's saying Dr. Moria. At least he followed through. It's like
Hogback.
Hogback, yeah, Dr. Hogback, yeah. Yeah, because like at least like he gave it a fox head. Yeah, it's still weird, but hey, 3 heads. 3 heads.
You know what? Foxes technically are in the genus of canine.
No, they're not. They're in the same order. They're in the Canes order.
In the Canes, but they're not. But it's like
but they're not Canis.
Yeah. It's like like they're there, but not really. So
yeah. Genus Canis consists of mainly 3 groups: Familiaris, which is dogs; Lupus, which are wolves, and I forgot the name of the 3rd one, but it's basically coyotes. Those are the only 3 Canis species. Foxes and hyenas are outside of that. They're order Canes, but they're not genus Canis. I know it sounds weird because it's like with humans, it's like
people, you got us.
It's like for humans, it's like mammal, humidity, Homo sapien, but for like dogs, it's like it's the carnivora, Canis, Familiaris.
But yeah, next episode is
it's a Glen nymph.
Yeah, we now, God is so desperate that the Cal Arts students decide to join with one of the most heinous creatures that walk the earth. Filthy, unwashed hippies, a bunch of tree huggers, the fiends. Because this apparently this is based off of a nymph in Homer's The Odyssey, which it's true. And what is this thing's big plan to conquer the world?
By turning people into trees. Now, I'll say this, no offense to our old friend D, who I won't say their name, but I will make this joke. Goths are nice people cosplaying as mean people, while hippies are mean people cosplaying as nice people.
Yeah, no joke, no joke.
Yeah.
I mean, I have dated many hippie girls, and I will conquer their women, very much so. But everyone else, I'm like, no, dude, no, just no. Even a couple of those exes, I'm like, why? Oh yeah, I remember why I did it.
Yeah. One time I did way back when considered asking D out on a date, but nope, never followed through. It is what it is. Wherever D is right now, I hope you're living your best life.
I wouldn't recommend, especially since it's like, I'm not throwing stones at your life, but everything I do happen to critique, which is kind of going against what your moral codes, right? So, but yes, this creature who has the gall to say that he can replace Apollo Grans as the commander of the secret police of God, like, my plan is to turn these people into trees, and it's so good of a plan that the Grand Commander of God himself says, "Stop it! What are you doing? You're planting trees?
We're supposed to destroy the world.
We're supposed to make this a barren wasteland that we can't even live on, and you're planting trees? Is this a Captain Planet cartoon? Stop it! You turn that kid's family into trees, find the kid and kill him. That's your orders, and come up with a new plan." Don't get me wrong. You ever play Mortal Kombat 2 and go into that the Forest of Sorrows with the trees with the faces on it? Pretty creepy. Especially when you get to do fatalities that throws the enemy into the tree and it eats you. I'm like, yeah, but they did this in Q Ranger and Power Rangers, but they never really showed it, where the Sphinx would put the people inside the trees and then have like a lumberjack company try to cut down said trees.
And they can't hear the kids' screams.
And they can't hear them, so it's like, okay. But yeah, we happen to save a little chubby kid in a yellow shirt who kind of looks like Norita from Doraemon.
Yeah.
And again, Tachibana thinks he's making it up. I'm like, Tachibana, what show are we in? Really? Ask yourself that. What show are we in?
Kamen Rider X.
It's like, yeah, we've seen some pretty crazy things. I know, turning people into trees. Not like we're not doing that in real life nowadays. But is it so crazy? No. The hippies and the art students have come together to get revenge on mankind. We must stop them. How dare they create more trees for breathable oxygen? But as always, when you get a kid involved in these types of stories, of course the kid has to be involved in some way.
And he just happens to be in the right place in the right time.
And like, and then Scooby and Shaggy over here decide to, hey, we're gonna go.
Oh yeah, they're also there.
They're like, we're gonna go too and help. You're adorable. I love you too, but
why are you even here?
Why?
And also, like, when did you start working at the coffee shop? That's the part I don't get.
You guys are going to college, right? I mean, you got to have part-time jobs. I guess Tachibana was like, yeah, I need some help. What do you do?
See, like, here's the thing about the Tachibana Motor Club. It's like, well, Tachibana always had the dream of having his own team to, like, win a motorcycling tournament. He never had the adequate members to actually race in it. But, like, having to help both, Takashi and Hayato, it was like an opportunity for him to start his own motor club. And he used the motor club as a front to help, like a secret base. Like, imagine if Zordon used the juice bar, Ernie's juice bar, as a front for their command center, because turns out Ernie was Zordon, which, by the way, is not the case, but
that is actually, no joke. What he's talking about is actually what they really wanted to do for Power Rangers in the early script days. That's what they wanted. The juice bar was gonna be a secret base and whatnot, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, well, at least Kamen Rider Build followed through on that.
Yeah. But anyone who's, like I said, anyone shops at Johnny Was or at the Dolce & Gabbana has to be evil for evil's sake.
Yeah, I mean, just look at Yoshikage Kira.
Yeah.
Look at his 1970s Gucci apparel.
Yeah. No, look at that. A man that fashionable can't be good.
Yeah.
Not to gentlemen, you must look good. Have your regimens, please. Daily grooming and all that stuff. It's not just for ladies. Please take care of yourselves too.
But when you wear Lululemon, that's a red flag.
You got into the devil with sweat and Lululemon.
Yeah. It's like he's turned to the dark side using mango salsa and oregano.
Bahamas. Oh, God. He's not just eating there. No, he's wearing it. The Fiend. Okay. So, so they capture the kid. They hold him hostage over a bridge. And I'm like, Gene, did you forget that you could catch the kid?
Yeah. He always does.
Not think about that. It's like, he's like, damn it. I'm like, you can catch him, right? You can jump, right?
And then for some reason, Kisuke himself gets tied up in
with rope.
Yeah, with rope on fire.
Not some special rope, not some highly unbreakable rope or some cartoon logic rope. It's simple,
or a rope that's giving off an EM field that's paralyzing his body.
Yeah, nothing. It's just rope, and they dangle him over, and they're like, you know what? We're just gonna set this rope to burn, and then we wait for him to fall. And I'm like,
yeah. Oh, but first, I'm gonna go away for a minute to tell Apollo Geist that I definitely already killed
the Kamen Rider, which you haven't done jack squat.
Yeah, it's like wait, you're saying you already killed him? Yes.
Apollo Geist,
you have his body and everything. Yes.
Show me. You killed him. You tree hugging hippie. You killed him. Of course I did. I'm like, I don't believe you. And you should. Yeah, you don't believe him. Because again, he takes him to the spot. Tachibana saves the kid. And for some reason, these two, this chubby little fat kid and Tachibana, beat Apollo and the nymph to the spot where they left them, and they had a head start. Okay. And Gene Kisuke's still down, like, you know what? The question is, this guy is a cyborg like the rest of you. Would just a simple fall like that actually kill him?
Yeah, we don't even know if it will. But the thing is, why would you still leave him unattended? That's a better question.
Well, you know what?
See, there was that one. See, like even in that pumpkin wrapper episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, when they had Tommy tied up to a tree, at least they had two putties oversee him. Did they get tricked into letting him go? Yes, but at least they left him attended.
It's the 70s. It's kind of like that whole thing about like. What comes to mind is the first ever appearance of Ghidorah in a Godzilla movie, where the second one, Monster Zero, where the aliens have a self-destruct button on the main ship that blows up all the other ships that are mind controlling Rodan and Godzilla. Why would you push that and then let those two go and beat the hell out of Ghidorah? And it's like,
I got a better one. Why does Kids Next Door have a spaceship with a blow up the engine button? But even crazier, why did they use a cupcake as the button? See, sure, sure. Cree Lincoln was smart enough to question who else but a bunch of snot-nosed kids would build a blow up the engine button. Yes, but why are we not stopping to ask why does the button have the structural integrity of a cupcake?
Why does the button anything? Like, seriously, it's like, you know what? I understand maybe that there's a countdown process. It's kind of also like in Spaceballs that the big don't push button, like do not push for self-destruct. Why you would have a self-destruct in your own battleship or in any situation for that matter?
I mean, if a xenomorph shows up, I can understand.
I guess, but you would have a remote protocol for that, not an actual button that it's like.
Yeah, like even in Star Trek, you needed a voice command from Kirk and Spock and Scott. All three of them had to verbally confirm the self-destruct sequence. Yes, and it was in the episode where like that one dude who's like half black, half white was in a race war against a guy who was half white, half black.
Yeah. No, I
zero destruct that. Zero.
Yeah, I do remember that episode, which was kind of like, what the hell, man? But again, it's like, yeah, that is a thing with in this situation. Like, why even? What were you, to quote the angry video game nerd? What were they thinking? Yeah, no, like exactly. What were they thinking? Well, it's the 70s, so a lot of drugs, Yeah, but Gene Kisuke, he happens to fall, and is he dead? Of course he's not.
No.
You guys,
no. Like the dude is about to execute the the two hostages, but before he has a chance to, Kisuke shows up. Then you end up on another freaking quarry with both Apollo and the nymph dude.
Which again, okay, the nymph tells Apollo that he'll take care of it, but Apollo's like, F off. But then he just kind of lets them fight him. He's like, oh, I just shot him. Oh, which this episode, actually, what I give it, like, this is probably my highest rated episode, because no joke, when you wanted to crash a car or blow up something back in the day, you actually had to do it. Nowadays it's all CG that they were just like, no.
Oh yeah. One of my favorite things, one of the best things about the movie Speed is that they spent half of their budget buying an actual Boeing jet and blew it up.
The thing is, like, they're actually driving a car. People are like, the grunts are getting thrown out of this car. The nymph is driving. X is smacking the car like a fucking Street Fighter game, and then the car gets thrown off a cliff, blows up before the nymph gets out. That's when the battle happened between Apollo and the nymph and X, only for Apollo to just, get a shot in and then let the nymph take over. And then not a rider kick, a chop, a blast, or even a shot to the gut with Apollo's brand new rocket gun. No. I give you whack a stick on the head. That I believe caused an aneurysm in the poor bastard, because he was just yelling so bad that he fell over and blew up.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And
this is the best episode so far, because we had a car chase, we had a car explode, we had like the most ridiculous way to defeat a monster. Well, one of the most ridiculous ways to defeat a monster.
Yeah.
And it's just like, again, you take a close-up of unmorphed Apollo just looking at the rider. I'll get you. Cue the Dr. Claw montage.
We'll meet again, Rider.
I'm like, you got the club now, so you technically are Dr. Claw.
Yeah.
He's got the club. I was like, you are Dr. Claw now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think Apollo Geist deserves a round of applause.
we need to give him a hand.
Yeah, this calls for a standing ovation.
He can still walk.
I know, but I love that line from Scary Movie.
So yeah. Next episode.
A furry one.
Oh boy. Oh man, did I have fun with this one.
What the hell is that?
Yeah.
What is it? You kind of ask yourself, what is it that mankind should never cross? What line should we never cross? I know that every day
Breeding humans with cats.
some scientist is dabbling in the realm of God and what it is that you do. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this is not your Tokyo Mew Mews. This is not your Baka Nekos. This isn't even the old lady from the Don. Hell, this isn't even my boy Fillion. Shout out to all my Fillion fans out there. It's not even Felicia from Darkstalkers. What on earth are these things? I don't know, but apparently you took a fursuit and just butchered it and then just glued it onto people's faces with fangs coming out like tusks. I'm like,
it could be worse. At least it's not like from the actual movie Tusk with Justin Long. Do you imagine how unsettling that would have been?
I was actually surprised Johnny Depp was in that movie.
Yeah,
I was really surprised.
I mean, to be fair, Johnny Depp was in Nightmare on Elm Street. A lot of people forget that.
No, I mean, it's him. I mean, it's a young Johnny Depp, but it's still Johnny Depp. It's like, come on. But it's like, we see two scientists just like making we
bring back that one scientist from episodes 15 and 16. Who brought Apollo Geist back.
Yeah, that guy.
It's like, we're building a virus, but first we need a vaccine for the virus because you cannot have a bioweapon without a vaccine. I'm like, this sounds very familiar. Now we're going to fly this over to the United States from Japan. Wait, this sounds really familiar. And there's nothing a certain detective can do to stop us. Wait a minute. This is the plot of L Change the World.
Yeah. I wonder if the mangaka, well, not the mangaka, but the director of the movie was actually a fan of Kamen Rider, because that really did sound suspicious.
Yes, like you even got the part where like that one scientist's wife is like, "Hey, honey, would you like to know a secret? Someone will turn into a cat tonight, and it'll be you."
I know a lot of people are not cat people. I myself, I'm both. I love dogs, love cats. Where's my missus?
I'm just going to be very specific with my phrasing. I am very much a Canis person. That meme with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers. That's me and Vernon Wells. Like the two of us are like, which is appropriate because like he was in a different Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. But the point is, it's like him with the wolves, me with dogs. It's like, yeah, Canis, what's it called? Lupus familiaris. Yeah, being a dog person.
Yeah, but I mean, you could, a black cat of all things. I mean, kind of stereotypical, but yeah, apparently there's a good scientist and a bad scientist, and we involve a little girl because
she's the daughter of the good scientist.
As you know, any type of story involving a cat, insert Stephen King's Cat's Eye. You got to have a little girl to interact with the cat, whether the cat's a hero or the monster. In this case, take your pick. But yes,
Yeah.
the scientist who brought back Apollo, what is his master plan to conquer Japan?
To turn everyone into a furry through a virus.
Turn everyone into a bunch of Neko-nyans. Because
Neko.
we're not turning them into cyborgs. That's different. But we're going to turn them into cat people, which I'm like, if any of you say nyan, if any of you say it, I will take the gun out. But they keep doing the.
Oh, I just realized. Oh my god, Neon from Geats. Her name is a play on the word nyan. I just realized it.
I didn't even watch Geats, and I was like, oh, because she's a cat.
See, I get nod to the word neck. Like, god damn. How did I not see that?
It's like most characters. It's like for some reason I'm like, wait, what's her name? Nieko, not Nico, something like that. She's a cat. She has something to do with cats. Something, But yeah, the makeup they put on these people. Yeah. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I mean,
unsurprisingly.
I know you're trying
surprisingly, Chico and Mako turned into cats before Tachibana even had a chance to say or do anything.
So the little girl. Okay, so little synopsis. Tachibana is walking home for some reason, and he runs into a cat. Now the cat starts beckoning, and yet it disappears. But Hugh, the scientist, and his wife, his wife is sprawled out. The cat is laying next to her, licking her. For her to wake up, cue the whole transformation of her turning into a Heineko.
Yeah.
Which again actually does go back into Japanese yokai folklore, where if we didn't again, people want to say cat girls or cat people is a new thing in Japan. No. This goes
been a thing.
I tell you, go watch my man Gaijin Goomba and look up his video on cat girls, on cat people. You'll actually be very surprised of how far back Japan has had this thing about little nyan-nyans. And it's shocking. It really is. I'm like, wow, I learned something. But
see, this is why I prefer kitsunes over nekos, because
kitsunes. Hooey. One bunch of you know what? God damn it, there's nothing else hot. I mean, kitsunes are all right, but I'm like, everyone's like, kitsunes. I'm like, you know what?
Japan, you should figure out a way to market toad women. Figure out a way to make toads sexy. Bayonetta was already like on the forefront of that.
We have Monster Musume. I mean, you got that. Take your pick, people. But again, I'm trying to keep within the realms of Japanese lore. Okay.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's like at least with Bayonetta, like they had the thin form of ball where she turns into a pop idol, and you got all these demon frogs having those glow sticks.
We're really. Wait, you mean Kei Kerogunso? Sergeant Frog?
No. I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about, and we're really ousting ourselves here. No, we've not seen Interview with Monster Girls or Monster Musume. What's that? I don't know what that is. Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's no. You know what? And even so, I'm like, what does Japan not lolly or feminize nowadays? Seriously, we have kaiju girls.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a thing.
I'm like,
yeah. But like I said, Bayonetta is in the forefront. All I'm saying, like Bayonetta,
you mean like Glasses Bayonetta?
Yeah, Glasses Bayonetta. Yeah, how You know how like she could turn. You know how like she could turn her demons into kaiju. Well, this is Ball's kaiju form, and like keep in mind, Ball is like this big frog demon, right? But like her sin form is like a pop idol.
Yeah,
and like her frog minions are basically
doing.
like got glow sticks.
I don't get why people get so upset. You know, it's like people up to me because again, like I've been reading up on folklore and folklore and such from Japan, and they're like, you see what they did to Tengus, to Kappas, to Sutendoji, to Oni, and I'm like, well, here's my rebuttal to that. Okay, now I know, I read, I know the lore, but is there a problem? It's selling, and I actually think that, you know, Fate Stay Night's Sutendoji is actually very cute of what they did with it. But to say it's an accurate depiction of the character, no. But would I put this on my shelf? Absolutely. But you know, I mean, that's the whole thing. I think that's what God's trying to do. They're trying to make Japan into a bunch of a nation of degenerates.
Yep.
But even though these cat people are not that attractive, except for two, you know, it's like, you know, at least they didn't put like, you know, some bobblehead type of cat like helmet or something on these people's heads. You know, they actually,
that's true.
They tried. And again, the Kamen Rider saves the little girl because for some reason, God wants the little girl. Can't just, I mean, she's eventually going to be turned into a cat. So, you know, it's only a matter of time. But, I'm not sure if Tachibana gets turned into a cat either. Because he got assaulted by,
no, he does. Like, we do see him as a cat.
Yeah, he got assaulted by our two cafe girls. And it's just like, did you get turned into? And of course, we find that this black cat, is it's literally Adam West's Catman.
Yeah.
Fear not, citizen, for I, Catman, have come to plague the world of Japan and making an entire society of feline cat furries.
Yeah.
You people disgust me. Ugh.
Yeah.
No, you're cool. We cool.
But yeah, no, it's pretty straightforward from here. He defeats the monster. Everyone turns back to normal.
It really is a fun, like, you know, like little episode. It's really fun because it's like we're trying to stop a virus from spreading. And what is this virus? It's to turn people into gajinkas, into Heinekos.
Yeah.
And of course there is a fight. There's always a fight that I think the writer gave him a kick or something, and the cat just kind of and then like kind of curls up and then blows up. I'm like, did you just go through rigor mortis?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he did.
And then Q Apollo grounds, why are you here, Apollo? Why are you here?
He's like, I didn't get here in time.
No, because we only got 3 minutes left in this episode. So why are you here? Just cause. And then it's like, you know, next
he just needs a reason to get more angry so that, you know, we can build up to his final battle.
Like, you know what? I would have a very strong talk with their HR department and God, because I'm like, okay, we went through the Greek pantheon. Now, what the heck are we doing that we're having cat people and whatever? Like,
well, Thaddeus is still technically in the Greek pantheon.
Yeah,
like he even appeared in Cyborg 001. Sorry,
yes,
009.
Yeah, yes, he did. Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Yep.
And so, yeah, that was because apparently Apollo had the cure to the cat girl plague
virus.
I have no idea if it's a pill or a gas or whatever, but
it's in a bottle.
It's in a bottle, but he just kind of shows it, and then next thing you know, everyone's back to normal. Okay. All right. Cool. Next
Yeah.
episode.
Next episode, a couple goes into a haunted house. Some old dude shows up, turns into occultists, and then turns them into zombies.
We've gone to Universal Horror Nights.
Yeah.
Japan. Which
And
now
then,
they do.
And then guess who shows up at the haunted house the following morning? The
Why?
Scooby Gang.
Yeah. It's Jinkies. No joke. They really do, because what do they find? They find actually the bodies, very like dry bones of the couple that disappeared.
Yeah.
Like, I thought someone left Halloween decorations out here. But no, it's actually the bodies. I'm like, man. I mean, I've seen your crows out in Japan, people. I mean, those suckers are huge, but who knew they could pick a body clean in less than a couple hours?
Yeah. Well, a group of crows is called a murder of crows.
Yes, a group of crows is called a murder. You learned something today.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I love this. I love how give me the girls' names again.
Chico and Mako.
Chico and Mako. Okay. So they're talking about this thick fog because apparently they got separated from Gene Kisuke.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, thick fog in a bright sunny day.
Surely this has nothing to do with God.
Surely, I'm like, honey, open your eyes, please, because this fog is not thick at all. But apparently a spooky house shows up. It's spooky when it's got 5 bedroom and 2 bath and a guest bathroom.
Uh-huh.
Just spooky. And this place is decorated. Well, we say it's Universal Horror Nights, but it's more like Knott's Berry Farm horror. Not knocking on Knott's Berry Farm. I love you guys, but yeah. You could totally tell. Not dissing it, but I'm like, you could totally tell. And who is this monster?
Occultist.
Occultist. I wonder if he's of the occult.
And he has an occult beam that paralyzes Kisuke temporarily.
He's part of that evil organization's agenda, because not only do they give him the phone call, but they actually give him a proper phone call with his photo.
We are a secret club because of our agenda. It is a dark agenda. It is an agenda some other clubs may not agree with.
Yup. But apparently this whole episode is just scaring people, because
you even have like 3 girls in a public school like open up a stall in the girls' bathroom and find a hanged man. Literally a hanged man.
Are we really touching on what's the bathroom? I forget what's the name of the bathroom ghost. It's Hanako.
Moaning Martel.
No, it's Hanako. Toilet, because again, remember there's that anime Toilet Bound Hanako.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Harry Potter because of
not
Moaning Martel.
No, not her. We're in Japan, not in England. But yeah, so
I mean, they both have a secret laboratory where they try to satiate the old gods by sacrificing 5 teenagers with no attitude.
No.
See how I turned this back into a conversation about Anna Hutchinson?
Yeah. But the whole story in this episode is just scaring people, and like, the most, like fun house, haunted house type of setting you could, because even occultist is kind of like, he's just running around in a sheet. Not much to him, but he dies in the most like kind of Sam Raimi before Sam Raimi did it type of way, where he just starts vomiting foam from his mouth, like a ridiculous amount, to the point that he just kind of like vomits himself into like the nether realm.
But
And
hey,
then
props that they actually held a funeral. At least they tried to like.
Well, I mean, the couple actually did die, so pay respects, obviously, but yeah. And again, not much to this episode other than just like.
What's really weird is that apparently the occult beam, apparently it is a very narrow vertical line that you could block from a stick held at just the right angle. Apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know. I'm just like, well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, cue the Sam Raimi film, and oh look at that! They had that little like ball of fire because Will-O-Wisp.
Yeah, willows. Yeah,
it's like I think what's really funny is that if you look very carefully in that scene, like you could see the
strings.
Yeah, not even a string. Like it's held up by a stick. You can see the stick.
I saw it as well. I was like, again, it was the 70s. Okay?
70s, I know.
Back in the day, okay. Yeah. Back in the day, it was just it. I mean, they didn't have their CG and all that stuff. So, by all means, please, you want to say, "Oh, I see the strings." Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's like, CGI may have advanced a long way in the last 50 years, but you cannot deny that even if you watch the original Star Wars as it originally aired, it still looks pretty badass.
Yeah, no, yeah, especially if you look at the behind the scenes of what they did and everything. But especially these all natural standard effects, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, as much as I wish that the next 2 episodes were 2-parters, sadly they're not. We have one last solo episode before the arc finale.
Yeah. So this one again, did we not have
salamander thing? There's an old woman.
Snake themed episode earlier. Now we have another one, but apparently they're not even hiding that this is a monster. This old woman or man, I guess, is just like dragging bodies in broad daylight and feeding them to reptiles. Well, not reptiles, more like you're feeding them.
I got the perfect thing for that. Lemony Snicket's The Reptile Room, where the anacondas play. The Reptile Room.
The thing is, I'm like, okay, yeah, all right. Well, I mean, I can understand if you have fed them to a monitor lizard or to the crocodiles, but the snakes, snakes don't chew; they swallow food, and throwing a body in there really isn't going to do anything.
Yeah, but still, in the reptile room, where the baby screams, weirder creatures loom, then in all your dreams.
Is that Frankie Sinatra I hear? Or
no, it's the Gothic Archies.
There you go.
They did the soundtrack for the series of unfortunate events books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Reptile Room. It's a great song. Again,
not much happens in this episode either. It's just a basic one-off episode of
a bunch of people trapped in cages, people getting bitten, turned into reptile zombies. Seriously, three consecutive episodes where people just turn into like zombies of arbitrary thing.
It's one thing. We went from like cat girls, now we're going into scalies. I'm like, we are really hitting all bases here of
like imagine if like the Grove Nymph episode, like instead of just straight up turning people into trees, he turned them into plant zombies. And I don't mean invis, I mean like actual plants coming out of their mouths and everything, like just feeding the plant. Kind of think of maybe like Pat from Hunter x Hunter. If you know what Pat is.
You know, and if you don't, well, thank God you don't know. So.
Yeah. So like that way we would have had 4 consecutive episodes involving people being turned into some arbitrary form of zombies.
Yeah, but instead it's just like
plant zombies, cat zombies, zombies, and now reptile zombies.
Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, all right. So when's the next Zootopia convention or gathering gonna happen?
No clue. But you know,
But,
again, we have a little kid looking for his older brother. He goes into the reptile room. And he finds his brother in a cage, turned into a plant zombie. It's like, I'm gonna turn you into a reptile zombie too. And of course, Kisuke saves him, like everyone, like he gets everyone out, uses his ride-all, fights off the goons. You know, is there anything new to this? Oh, he wrestles a Komodo dragon. That's new.
Even though I knew that the Komodo dragon was like, you know, I was like, oh, so we're actually promoting violence against animals. Well,
Yeah.
it's a Komodo
in a
dragon.
Pokemon battle, the Pokemon can fight, not humans. Don't be stupid.
Well, I mean, technically, it's a Komodo dragon versus a grasshopper. So, I mean, you know, put your bets, people. You know.
Yeah.
But no, it's well, you know, it's an episode. Obviously, it's an episode.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just like, I can make so many Pokemon references to Salazzle or to Dragonair.
Oh God!
You know, like
not Salazzle, please, not Salazzle,
or all those you know, wink, wink. I don't know how this thing trends on Twitter, but it does. I'm like, I had a Salazzle on my team, but I never once looked at it and said, "Huh."
See, part of the problem is how like curvy its body is and where its arms are placed.
I know that,
and I'm like briefly, I'm like, this Pokemon looks very inappropriate, and then later on, I end up actually like reading its description. I'm like, oh dang, it's even less appropriate than I thought it was.
Yeah, it's only the females that evolve, not the males. The males actually simp over the
and don't ask what it does to the males.
Don't ask.
Let's just say what happens to male praying mantises is more merciful.
Let's just say it's not a reflection on today's society of men in certain websites. You know, I'm not shaming people who do that type of stuff. I know a couple and it's cool with me. But the fact of so many people getting mad over like things that they voluntarily do or spend in these certain areas over a service, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
You know, that simp is pretty much the key word there. But
let's just move on to the
moving on.
I just want to move away from this. So dressed up like Clint Eastwood, we got Apollo Geist. Just like shooting targets. He's like
off his most greatest Dirty Harry impression. Go on, Hopper. Make my day.
And it's like my finger, like it did not ping properly. What's going on? So he visits the doctor that performed his surgery. It's like I'm having problem with my trigger finger, and it's like maybe if you use the Kamen Riders Perfector, it would solve your problem. His Perfector, that mouth thingy.
What is this item that we do not know of? It's that mask.
It's literally the mouth part of his mask.
Yeah, it's literally that. That's what it's been called the whole time. I'm like, did we know that? Did we actually give it a name? It's like, no. Well, I don't remember that we did, but I'm like, oh, okay.
I knew it was called Perfector because, I already watched the season, but I don't. But even rewatching the season, I don't even remember when they first used the term. But I do know that in Decade they definitely called it the Perfector.
Yeah. But
the thing is, in Decade, it looks nothing like the one we see in X. So it's like, if you've never watched X beforehand, you wouldn't even know like what is this metal thing that Apollo Geist is sucking the life force from other people from, and then just like placing it on his mouth.
I don't know.
Turns out he's putting Kisuke's mouth on his mouth. So now I'm wondering, what would Kamen Rider X look like with the Deku version?
Let us not open it up to the shippers, because again, sometimes I wonder what people's minds go through.
Because it does make me think, like if we've seen Ichigo, Nigo, and V3 in Kamen Rider First and Next, you kind of want to wonder what would X and Stronger look like in that style? Like, I'm pretty sure Amazon would look like the primitive version of Amazon in the remake, before he gets the thing attached to him.
Right.
But what would X look like? You kind of have to wonder.
We'll leave it up to our fans if they want to do some artwork about that.
Yeah. Well, in any case, a challenge is issued. Oh yeah, and the dude just straight up shoots the scientist. It's like,
for some reason,
he doesn't kill him, but he does shoot him.
He just that's just how Apollo works. Is that he's like,
he shoots people but doesn't kill them.
He just does. That's just his thing. Some people shake hands. Some people give a nod. He it's not like other characters that like they give you a kick in the nut. I guess that'd be better than getting shot at, but so cue the cameos galore, because apparently a lot of the monsters that we fought in earlier episodes are back.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah, even Cronus.
Yeah, didn't you guys get your heads blown off or whatever? Like, what happened? I don't know. I guess we had other ones.
What's even weirder is, so it's like, like, surely you want to save Chico and Mako. What'd you do? Well, why don't you go find out? And of course, he goes to the cafe. They're already gone, and then turns out the three people lying on the floor are actually Ulysses, Achilles, and Prometheus in disguise. Mm-hmm. And of course, he defeats two of them and then holds Achilles hostage. It's like, hey, you've been given a chance to live again. Don't you want to like make the most of it?
Better yourself, get yourself an education, maybe turn a whole new leaf. I mean,
become a senator.
Ulysses, you're actually Dionysus. You could probably open up celebrity wines are very popular right now. You could no, you're gonna be bad. You're gonna go. Okay.
Yeah. So Achilles is like, okay, you know what? I'll take you to the Apollon Palace. Okay. And then they're like riding in broad daylight, like in the middle of the road. You see like Kisuke unmorphed and Achilles right next to him in the middle of the road, and I'm imagining like someone like driving next to them. I'm like,
cosplayers. Assholes. I'm like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Filthy weebs, get out of the fucking street. Like, yeah. Well, I mean, that's just normal, I guess, in Japan. Honey, did we just see a Greek pantheon escorting a man with a very fierce mullet to some random house abode in the backwoods? Yes, honey, I guess we did. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yes, what is the final confrontation here?
Yeah, so this is really silly, but
this whole show is.
But yeah, like, you're not wrong. But basically Achilles escorts Kisuke to Apollo, and of course, like, it's like, I got the perfector right here. It's like, okay, we'll give it to Apollo. It's like, no, I'll give it to him myself. And then as soon as like he gets inside, Apollo just turns around and immediately shoots Achilles. I'm like, damn, didn't even give him a minute.
No, he didn't. He didn't even. Kind of makes me wonder. I was like, what what was all that about then?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just does, I guess.
Yeah, so the two of them like go back outside, have a final confrontation, and it looks like Tachibana's about to get hanged, but then no, not hanged, but beheaded by a guillotine. But somehow Medusa's head gets in the way of the blade instead, like it's gonna stop the blade, considering how guillotines are designed.
Yeah.
But and like you'd think, being true to the story of Perseus, you'd think Tachibana might have, like taken her head and used it to petrify some of the other kaiju. Nope, no, he doesn't. So,
I mean, I don't even think this Medusa can do that.
We do see people get turned to stone.
But I mean,
yeah.
But yeah.
So, okay, say what you will about the exploding arm. At least it was a clever diversion tactic. You know what feels less clever? Setting yourself on fire, turning into a boulder, and trying to roll down towards your target, hoping you end up hitting him.
I swear, I'm like, guys, we're letting gravity be the final, in our decisive battle. Okay. And what happened after that?
Yeah, so basically, Paul Geist dies.
Okay.
The Palace Apollon gets destroyed, and we hear the voice of King Dark saying, "I am the true head of the government of darkness. I am King Dark. You and I will face each other in the future."
It kind of reminded me of that more like at the end of the first Mortal Kombat movie, where where the Emperor showed up at the end.
Khan.
Fools have come for your soul. And
I don't think so.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, cute. Yeah, cue the music. I'm just like, okay,
yeah.
and that is that's it.
Yeah, and then for some reason, Connor McLeod gets replaced with Gamby from Black Lightning.
Yeah, why?
Yeah,
do that.
Also, why does he get that Billy Idol look?
I know.
And what is up with that ballet where they're just like repeatedly like spinning, but like no one's hitting each other? Yeah. When he fights the Zataran.
Let's never speak of Annihilation.
Okay.
But yes, gentlemen, that's it. The god of Kamen Rider ascended to Mount Olympus and killed all the gods. Yeah. Only to defeat the final boss later on, but that is it. That is it. That is the end of the I guess the Greek pantheon. Because they all got killed.
Things are gonna get a little weird in the remaining 14 episodes of the show.
Don't you know it?
Yeah, we're gonna see some really fun faces and some faces that are questionable, to say the least.
Oh, I'm ready for that one. Stay tuned for that one, people.
Oh yeah. Next week, we're gonna have to discuss one episode that's gonna be really tough to watch because, technical reasons, and another followed by an episode that's hard to watch for, let's just say for meme-related reasons.
Don't you know it?
Yes.
So stay tuned for that.
All right. So, what are your scores for these episodes?
I've noticed that I've been giving X a lot of 6 and 7s, which I'm like, that is pretty much the standard. For the first two, we're still sticking with the 6 and 7s because it still falls under the formula. The Neko episode, the cat people virus episode. I'm gonna give that one a 9 just for how batshit stupid this idea is. because I'm like, it's one thing about turning society into a bunch of cyborgs, which why? But it's another thing of like, we're gonna
turn them into cat people.
Turn them into cats, which again, cats are the most independent creatures that exist. Why would you want an entire society of cat people?
Well, maybe they're going to force all of humanity to have a talent show once a year where one person has to go to the other side of the slab, which I assume will involve ritual sacrifice.
It could happen.
Yeah.
The whole thing with the occultists, although it was a very interesting episode, again, that one probably maybe go for like a 7.5 just for occultist himself. Just like, well, okay. The serpent episode goes as a 6 because again, you're pretty much rehashing the formula again, not a lot of thought. And the finale for the Greek pantheon, rolling boulder, and again, we've only had Apollo Geist back for like 4 or 5 episodes at this point.
Yeah.
It's like,
and he barely did much.
Yeah, he barely did anything. It said like he kept shooting everybody.
It's like, do you even see him transformed in episodes 18 through 20?
Do you realize, Apollo, what it is you're doing? You're thinning out your numbers because a grunt, a doctor, a professor, the Kaijin, like, who's going to be left? You'd probably shoot King Dark if you wanted to. And he probably wouldn't even be like, oh, yeah, nice to see you too, Apollo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess for a series finale and what it was, I'm like, well, all right, I give you a 9 because again, with just how batshit crazy everything got in this episode, the cat episode and this arc finale is like, yeah, those are probably the highlights of this.
And what score would you give the entire arc of episodes 1 through 21?
Jesus Christ, man. You're looking at like at least a 7.5 in general.
Yeah.
Because again, a lot of repetition, a lot of like, is Kyoko and Ryoko a good person? I don't know. Who are these 2 college girls now that literally are Daphne and Velma? Why does God care about all these kids? Why the hell do you want the kids for some reason? Just let them go.
No witnesses.
No witnesses, but who's going to believe them? Hell, even Tachibana didn't believe the kid when he said, my parents got turned into trees. Oh, shut up.
And he didn't believe them when he didn't believe the little girl when she said, my parents were turned into cats.
Yeah. So it's like, who's going to believe them if Tachibana didn't?
Yeah, it's like that crossover episode of Lightspeed Rescue where it's like there's like Kirkina has like this whole laboratory on the 13th floor, and like no, it's like, little girl, there's no such thing as monsters, even though you're in Mariner Bay for God knows how many episodes where everyone knows the true identity of the Power Rangers to the point that the same little girl was playing ball in the park and she sees like a freaking rover and she's like, hey mommy, look, it's the Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then like after they put out a fire, not even like a fire caused by a monster, a regular fire, like everyone's running to Joe Rawlings to get autographs. Monsters.
Yeah, again, strange. Awesome.
Okay, so for me, the episodes, 16, I have to give it an 8. It was okay. I mean, how did you not know it was Apollo? But hey, it gave Kisuke a challenge because he could not transform. I like that idea, but I wish that Cronus was around just a little bit longer and Cerberus was a useless character, just like Prometheus. Episode 17, I would give it an 8 because, it was just a fun episode. Let's be honest. Like, I like the dude turning people into trees, and then like Apollo rightfully calling this dude incompetent, but also Apollo, you're not really doing much yourself.
No,
So I would say as an Austin Powers fan, I'd give it an 8, but if I weren't, I'd probably give it a 7. The cat episode, 7, because come on, guys.
It was
Campers. Yeah, it was a fun episode, but come on, guys. Let's keep it together. We're Government of Darkness. Yeah. We're not the Hashirians from Boom Boomger. Episode 19 and 20, I have to give them both 7s because it's just repetitiveness. But I will give episode 20 credit because Kisuke did have to fight a Komodo dragon. That was the highlight of the episode for me. Episode 21, I want to give it a better score, but I feel like we didn't build up to it enough. See, if this episode was a 2-parter, it would have been better because it's like, oh, Apollo slowly dying. He has more reason to fight Kisuke. Let's expand on that. But they barely did anything with it. And the fact that he went out like a punk more than he did the last time. Yeah, I have to give this episode a 7 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wanted more out of this episode because, again, it's Apollo freaking Geist. Like, he's iconic. As an arc, I give it an 8. There's a lot of repetition, but I would say the biggest issue is certain storylines were ended way too quickly where they should have lasted a bit longer, namely the whole Kiriko and Ryoko thing. And some arcs should have been shorter, like the whole, hey, let's rebuild Apollo Geist and give him his revenge. As soon as they rebuild him, cut straight to episode 21. At least it'll be more concise.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so let's see what the audience have to say about this.
What do the people got to say?
Come to watch Kamen Rider, stay to discuss Gossip Girl. XOXO.
That's this guy.
Gossip Girl's true identity. Tobei Tachibana. That would be one hell of a plot twist.
Oh man, the old man's legacy is just like he created Gossip Girls. All right, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, he would be in the know about all the hot, juicy gossip about the writers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like spot it. Kusaka being an asshole to Keitaro. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, sweet Maria?
Okay, what does this one say? Yeah, some god plans seem to make no sense at times. I take you back to crippling the economy by stealing a kid's lunch money. The economy, be as it may, always sucks, and in the 70s there was no difference. So even taking a kid's pocket money for candy and whatnot, well, it was something.
Yeah. Well, the 80s will have an economic bubble for Japan, which is kind of one of the allegories of black.
That is where the world finally realized. Oh, you mean that little island over in the What are they doing? Like,
Never trust a PETA supporter to do John Wick's job.
Never.
Yeah. Don't trust a hippie to do an assassin's job.
I wouldn't trust a hippie to grow a garden.
Neko ni. Ha. That's a callback to a joke we made back in Geeks.
Did you just throw a Love Live reference in this review?
As far as I'm concerned, that's a Geeks reference because...
Did you really throw in a Love Live reference in...
If there's anything I learned is that Apollo really hates Achilles for some reason. It's true because Achilles is constantly getting shot by Apollo.
Yeah.
Say what you will, Kisuke never killed Achilles.
No,
ever
did. But the thing is that keeping with Achilles is just a fathead. He's a Chad. He literally in mythology was like no one can beat him, no one can touch him. He has no until finally that weakness of his that finally just like, wow, really? That's all it took?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not surprised. He is a dick. He 100% Achilles is a tool. So
yeah, Apollo. If they dub this in the U.S., I hope Apollo gets voiced by what's his name, Danny DeVito. So I see Achilles and I start blasting.
Oh my god!
All right. Well, if you guys enjoy watching us talk about Apollo's obsession with shooting his own subordinates, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Ding the bell icon. Stay notified for our latest videos. On Monday, we're starting a new Ultraman series for the Ultra Quest podcast. We are doing Ultraman X.
What is with these X-themed heroes this time around?
I know. As well as Kamen Rider Gav on Wednesday, Bakuaga Sentai Boom Boomger on Thursdays, and more Kamen Rider X on
last Boom Boomger, right?
Yeah. No, we got 3 more episodes.
Then what the hell are people saying? Like, oh, we're almost at the end. It's like, well, yeah.
Well, we are almost at the end.
Yeah, but
there's 48 episodes.
Like, calm down, guys. We saw that trailer for number 1 Sentai, and believe you me, the G Gundam references were all over that goddamn thing.
Yeah, and we will discuss that on Thursday. And of course, check out our interviews. And check out our sister channel, The Buttery Show. Next month we are going to be doing some more movie reviews, so stick around for that. And if you want to follow our personal content, you could find us
just at IG. Thank you so much for everyone and your comments and your love. Thank you.
Yeah, and you can find me on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto. And with all that said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to stay safe, stay hydrated, update your emergency kits, hug your loved ones, and we'll see you all next time. I want to know, have you ever seen the rain on a sunny day?